So those videos can be pretty painful to watch. The subjects in these videos, they exhibit both apperceptive agnosia, that is, they have trouble discriminating the shapes of the objects that they're looking at, and they show associative agnosia, that is, they have a difficult time identifying the objects. So they exhibit both of those forms of visual agnosia. And when the guy finishes, when he goes, oh shit, that is his frustration. That is how frustrating it is for him to kind of see things but not be able to identify what they are or name them. Let's turn our attention now to the other pathway. Now the where or where-how pathway runs dorsally to area PG in the parietal lobe here, like so. The where pathway contains projections primarily from that magnocellular pathway. The magnocellular layers of the lateral geniculate nucleus. And cells in this pathway aren't particularly sensitive to color or to shape, and they rarely include foveal receptors. They are sensitive to direction of motion and to an object's location. So after lesioning cells, that is, surgically or chemically destroying cells in this pathway, Mishkin found that monkeys become severely impaired in their ability to discriminate locations, but they retain relatively unimpaired ability to discriminate patterns and colors. So, for instance, they perform relatively normally in object recognition tasks, but perform poorly on landmark discrimination tasks. Now, in both pathways, similar results are observable when strokes or other neurological insult causes damage to the corresponding areas in human beings as well. More recently, researchers have refined this where-how pathway. Notice that it projects to 4 functionally discrete areas in the interparietal sulcus. So the interparietal sulcus here is this area right in here. The sulcus is the crease in the cortex here. Now, our primary visual pathway projects onto V1, and then from V1, our where-how pathway projects up here to the MTMS area here in the beginning of the parietal lobe. It goes through V3, through V2, or straight up. And then from there, we have projections to these 4 areas here in the interparietal sulcus. Now, the medial interparietal cortex, the MIP, represents targets of arm movements. The lateral interparietal cortex, LIP, represents targets of eye movements. The anterior interparietal cortex, AIP, represents targets for grasping, and the ventral interparietal cortex represents the face. So, ventral interparietal cortex, the face, anterior interparietal cortex, grasping, lateral interparietal cortex, eye movements, medial interparietal cortex, arm movements. So they're specialized, anatomically separate projections on that where-how pathway. In humans, damage to that where-how dorsal parietal pathway results in what's called optic ataxia. People with optic ataxia exhibit impaired visually guided control of movements, and one common manifestation involves deficits in controlling the direction of reaching to a visual target, as well as defective hand orientation and grip formation. Optic ataxia often develops from lesions of the superior parietal lobule. So I'm going to show you a movie to illustrate optic ataxia. Again, these are kind of old movies. They're kind of hard to watch, but they do illustrate the phenomenon.
Now, I'm going to have you tell me whether my hand moves toward you or away from you. Can you see it? Which way?
Yeah, it's coming forward.
Which way?
This way.
Look at the hand. Which way?
It's going further now. Now it's coming closer.
With no blink of threat. Now use her hand as the stimulus she does. Okay. Now, we're going to do the thing that gave you a little trouble earlier. We're going to have you reach and grab things from me, okay? Okay. Oh, before I do that, there's one other thing I want to do. What do you see here?
The comb.
Okay. And what do you see here?
The pen.
And what do you see now?
Both.
The comb and the pen, so there's no simultaneous agnosia.
Yeah.
Now, which is closer to you, the pen or the comb?
The pen.
Are you having? Okay. Which is closer to you, the pen or the comb?
The comb.
Okay. I'm going to mix them up and try it again. Which is closer to you, the pen or the comb?
The comb is.
Okay. Which is closer to you, the pen or the comb?
The pen.
Very good. Now we're going to do some reaching. You weren't looking at it. Did you see it?
No.
You just did it. Okay. Just grab. Okay. Grab the hammer. Can you see it? Can you see it? No. Can you see it over here? Okay, try it down here now. Can you grab it? That's good. Okay, good. Let go. Now try it with this hand. Grab it with that hand. Good. Put it down. Now with this hand, grab it. No, that hand's still giving you trouble. All right, put it down. Let's try this hand again. Grab it. Good. Now try it with this hand. Grab it. Try it a little closer to you. Can you grab it? Oh, use your good hand. Okay. I'll try. Use this hand now. Grab it. It's real close to you. Can you find it? It does give you trouble still. Okay.
Okay, so this doctor definitely does not win any awards for bedside manner or patient compassion. However, the video does really illustrate optic ataxia, the difficulty that the woman has reaching out, finding something in space, orienting her hand, orienting her grip so that she can get a hold of it. All of these things are the result of damage to that where-how pathway.